let's talk about Tiger King. Because right now, I don't think there's anything the internet wants to talk about more, except for something I don't want to talk about on this show. So, let's talk about Tiger King. First of all, I want to discuss who you think is in the wrong here, if you think everybody's in the wrong, and well, do you think Carol Baskin killed her husband? Sean?
Hey, all there, cats and kittens.
Sean?
They're all awful people is what it comes down to in my view. I'm sorry. They're just not they're all weird, that's for sure. And Joe Exotic definitely did the stuff he did, and I'm pretty sure Carol Baskin killed her husband. That's just the way I view it right now.
Anybody else?
Carol Baskin killed her husband, and she obviously fed it to the tigers. So I don't understand why the FBI or the cops or whatever didn't pick up the tiger feces and have it tested for human remains, because obviously way too late now. Second of all, you see, I think as much as it at the end it overly portrayed Joe to be super innocent, whereas Joe has said himself, I'm not super innocent, I've done shit.
Yeah.
I've done stuff that I shouldn't have. Jeff has also said that it doesn't really matter. I think it's all a cultural upbringing that has kind of Joe, we all know, had a rough childhood. I think definitely there were some other physical things that happened to him that made him the way he is. But the thing that really sticks out to me is how he brainwashed that 18-year-old and got him hooked on crack and pot. What was it?
Meth
and pot. And then the suicide I saw coming, but I didn't see it coming in front of somebody.
But they called it an accident too, which is just wrong.
Because here's the thing. There was footage of him seeming obviously depressed and obviously suicidal. So whether that was an accident, it still could have been because he plays with guns a lot. Obviously his playing with guns psychologically is just a way the connection to the gun is that connection to I am suicidal.
Yeah.
But whether he was going to commit it or not, I'm not sure there's enough evidence to say he meant to do that. Because he played with them a lot as I want to die, but also he knows they're, So I think the only reason that person got depressed and suicidal was directly because Joe Exotic brainwashed him. You know what I mean? And then lastly, the last thing I had about that, never mind, you'll have to come back because I forget.
That's fine.
I have one thing to say, and that everyone on that show is just a very unique version of Florida Man.
Yes.
If all of them came together and formed one, it would be the complete version of crazy Florida Man,
The ultimate Florida Man.
Yeah.
Florida
If we were send them
Megazord.
into war, they'll win because they're just so crazy. Them with their tigers and lions and all of the exotic cats, and then Carol Baskin with her murderous rage.
And Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
So for
up in Florida, he spent his young 20s in Florida, and he's everyone was like that. If they didn't have a tiger or something, a lot of people had that personality, or they had snakes and whatever. And he was everyone he said he was involved with was mostly sketchy, but also they weren't. There were people that weren't bad intentioned. But again, it goes everyone's the hero in their story, and you know.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
Actually, really anti-Tiger King, to be completely honest. I don't find any character or person in the show likable. I just
you're not supposed to.
No, you hate them all.
I guess it's just, I don't know. I'm a big believer in we give spotlight to the wrong things way too often, and this is another one of those things. I hate it. I hate it.
It is a little bit I don't want to say mind-numbing, but I've lost a few brain cells.
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
God,
it's I did meth, and I've never done that in my life.
Felt like I did.
It's designed to make you go, okay, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank
I guess,
God.
yeah.
Just don't buy
It's
a
like
tiger.
when you're at your lowest, go watch Tiger King because you're like, oh, at least I'm not him.
I'm not doing that bad.
Also, I'm pretty sure I have more teeth in my mouth than everyone in that show.
Probably.
100%.
Combined.
The guy got his teeth fixed.
Wait, no, not even that. But if you watch the beginning of the series, I forget his first lover's name, but his first husband that he had, who at the end only had like 2 teeth you could see, in the beginning of them filming, because remember they filmed for 5 years, he had more teeth. And as you watch through the series, he progressively loses more teeth.
Yeah, that's
drugs.
what that does.
Also, can I bring up another fact that we bring the spotlight to the wrong people?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Because the purpose of this documentary was strictly to talk about the population of tigers in the wild and in habitation. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was extreme. Like the difference in the wild to what's in population and captivity is in, I want to say 20,000s, but I feel like that's also way off. Like I don't remember the numbers, but either way, it's to show it. They really want to bring out that craziness and all the people, because these are the people. This ring of people, because it wasn't just Joe Exotic. We all know that.
No,
They all had sketchy dealings and everything. So it's pointing out that like these people, like with Carol Baskin, okay, they're basically alive weapons. And it's not worth having them in captivity if they're all extinct in the wild. I'm sorry, but if the population's that bad, is it worth trying to save them? And if we're going to only be saving them to breed and breed and breed for our own benefit, then there's no point, because they're so dangerous.
Yeah,
so
it's a big
spotlight.
problem.
It is a good spotlight because nobody's thinking about this, and spotlight's good when it has a message and a meaning that needs to be like, it needs to bring information to the public, and that's what I think this did.
It does, and I agree with you that it is bringing the message of captivity of wild animals and wild animals being bred in America to the public, and I definitely agree it has a very widespread audience. But at the same time, I think I disagree where you're saying that the message of the documentary was to raise awareness about tigers and lions being held in America. I think the point of the documentary was look at these crazy people, and
Yeah.
that's why it's trending right now on Netflix. Is more look at what these meth heads are doing, and it could be worse.
But
Taylor's message is how they got like the money to film it. Like, hey, we have this great idea. We're gonna film these people. We're gonna promote. Like, we're gonna send this message, and then it's just meth heads shooting guns and getting attacked by tigers,
killing people.
Yeah.
It just happened to be that they realized the story that was going to be more captivating was the people than it was going to be look at the condition these tigers live in. You know, so I think
for sure.
Change. But if you got to remember the ending, like the figures they showed you at the very end, all the last 2 episodes of what they told you about, like he euthanized 5 tigers right before he left, and he claimed they were sick, but not. Who knows if that was true or not? But either way, the fact that one person owned over 200 tigers easily and nobody questioned that is
Florida.
the point. That's like a third of whatever's left in the wild. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Every time they brought up a statistic or brought up like any number, anytime they brought up a number, that was a number of tigers they had in the beginning to tigers they had now, to how many Carol Baskin has, to how many Jeff had, and then what the other guy that had the harem of women.
Doc Antle.
There you go. It's that's what they really wanted to drive home, because every time a number was mentioned, people had a huge reaction of, oh my goodness.
Well, you knew in the very beginning that they had these tigers and these other big cats, and it was more of a collection. It wasn't their goal to like save the tigers, because in like one of the very first scenes, there was this I want to say it was a cloud leopard or something along that lines, because they went like,
He
oh
was in the van? Yeah, that was a
yeah, in the van they were, oh, it was a cloud leopard, and then they were like, oh, is this more rare than a snow leopard? And they're like, way more rare. So
You
it's
have
just
no
like,
idea.
okay, so
have it.
But we're owning. So
Right.
it's. I'm sorry to bring it up like this. I really want to dull this down, but this is the first thing in my brain that we're owning a living thing, and it's cool to have it. It's cool to have it. It
Mhm.
means you have power, and it
Oh yeah, it's
gives
a
you
collector's
status.
item to them.
Like it's so normal, and the fact that these, because Joe Exotic has a big head about himself. So does everyone.
Oh yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
own a living thing that gives them money or makes them profit.
Mhm. These
Yeah.
animals are not domesticated. They are not meant to be your pet, but that's how they treat
Ooh.
them. And you know,
don't know
then
how-
you lose an arm.
You don't know how strong
Or
they
your
are.
life.
It's basically a weapon, is all I'm saying.
Good
Why are
point.
we allowed to own 500 of these horrible weapons that also the thing with versus, gun control is like you have your hand on the trigger. You don't have your hand on the trigger for a tiger. They go berserk when they go berserk.
No, you're right.